And very good morning. Now, our top story, the sentencing of the first White House official over alleged Russian meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign has been delayed once again. Donald Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn, pleaded guilty to a single count of lying to the FBI. But as Caleb Maupin explains, buzzwords like treason and meddling mask what Flynn is really guilty of.
General Michael Flynn, the only senior member of the Trump administration to be charged with a crime by the special prosecutor. It was supposed to be a smoking gun. The judge didn't mince any words when describing it.
All along, you were an unregistered agent of a foreign country while serving as the national security advisor. Arguably, that undermines everything that this flag over here stands for. Arguably, you sold your country out.
However, the judge took it back. His actual crime was telling a lie to the feds, but that's not what the media has been feeding us.
I feel terrible about that. The government has no reason to believe that the defendant committed treason. I'm not hiding my disgust, my disdain for this criminal offense.
No treason, no sinister connection to foreign adversaries. What happened is this. In December of 2016, as the FBI was preparing to wrap up and conclude its collusion investigation, at that point, Michael Flynn had a conversation with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. Now, you'll recall that as far as the media was concerned, he wasn't simply an ambassador, but a super spy master.
Remember, Kislyak, identified by CNN as a top intelligence gatherer, or spy master in Washington, D.C.
Ambassador Kislyak, who we know is the chief spy master.
So, of course, the FBI had no choice but to talk to Flynn about that conversation. But the way their interview with him was conducted was rather strange. No lawyers were present. The White House counsel was not informed. Flynn just sat down with the FBI, and at no point did they tell him that what he said could later be used against him in court.
The FBI's investigation of a guy who pled guilty to lying to the FBI. He should have been warned you shouldn't lie. He should have been told you can have a lawyer. Think of the state of affairs we've ended up in. That's nonsense. I'm very proud of the way the FBI conducted itself. Agile, flexible, thoughtful, pursued the leads where you'd want us to.
At the time, the FBI did not see any wrongdoing.
General Flynn pleaded guilty to making a false statement to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, even though the FBI agents did not detect any deception during Flynn's interview.
What Michael Flynn apparently said to Kislyak is that international tensions shouldn't escalate following Obama's sanction and sacking of the diplomats. However, Michael Flynn told the FBI that he couldn't recall the details of the conversation.
The very heart of today's Michael Flynn's news are the repeated lies or false statements made by members of the Trump administration, while Flynn's calls to the Russian ambassador were coming to light.
This is a man who had 3 decades in public service, often working very closely with the FBI, and he should not have had to have been reminded that lying to the FBI is a crime.
General Michael Flynn. Oh, the horror. He sat at a table with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and he's supposedly met with a group alleged to be Nazi sympathizers. And he supposedly kidnapped someone on behalf of Turkish President Erdogan. And while we're at it, let's mention that his son is apparently part of the investigation.
And I think the judge was badly informed of the timings and information and how these all related to each other. And so his sentencing will be 90 days down the road. And I think the judge will be a little more chastened at that time and willing to take the recommendations of the special counsel.
Flynn's name has been dragged through the mud. At the end of the day, however, the FBI only found one thing to hold on to: a lie. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.